Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media in Northern Ireland. And each week we catch up with an interview guest and we talk about what may be relevant right now in business and the wider community. This week it's my privilege to welcome Joe Dolan to Business Bites. Joe is the head of the Northern Ireland Cyber Security Centre. Joe, you're very welcome.
Thank you, David. Glad to be here.
Well, it's great to see you. Let's get into the conversation. So, first of all, the Northern Ireland Cyber Security Centre. I wasn't really aware that we had our own version of a cyber security centre. So, could you just tell us a little bit about what you guys do and how you might be different from other cyber security centres that we might have heard of?
Absolutely. Like we're in operation here just over 2 years. We launched in February 2020. Really good timing, just before the pandemic hit. Our remit is really to take key messages from the UK's National Cyber Security Centre and promote that advice and guidance out here locally on the ground to businesses and to the citizen, to try and raise Northern Ireland cyber safety, security, and resilience to what we see as an actual, real societal problem here in an increase in cyber activity.
I think it's very much on people's minds, whether you're in business or on a personal capacity. So you've launched a quite big campaign right now. So can you tell us about the awareness campaign that you're running currently?
Yes, this campaign is sort of primarily digital, but we have an offline, so you'll see it in sort of shopping centres and around bus shelters as well. And the whole aim of this here is to try and promote out to businesses and to the citizen key practices that they can do to help protect themselves against key threats from cyber attack. This is very much based on the National Cybersecurity Centre's Cyber Aware 6 behaviours, and we've taken those and brigaded them down to 3 Ps: passwords, patching, and prepare. And if I can just talk through those in a wee bit more detail. In terms of passwords, this is key. What we're seeing is a lot of cyber criminals taking weak passwords, which are readily available because of maybe not something we have done, but because of data breaches. They're out in the dark web, they're harvesting these. We often use the same passwords across multiple accounts, and these behaviors are around trying to get good practice out there. So things like passwords being long and strong, using 3 random words to actually make those longer, because the longer a password is, add a few characters in there, the longer and the more complex that is, then the harder it is for a cyber criminal to use it, and the more likely is that somebody hasn't used that as well. Definitely email, use key accounts, make sure they are a strong password and you're not using something that you've used across another account. That's another key behavior that we want to try and promote. If you can put on some kind of 2-factor authentication where you're being challenged through a text message, we see this in a lot of banks now. Definitely switch that on as a really effective means of protecting yourself. And it's a good behavior to start to get into. That also alerts you should something bad be happening, and you can take corrective action to start preventing more impact to yourself and others. And then also, there's a bit of a balance. People often ask us, is it okay to save passwords in browsers? And what we would say is, look, this is a balance. If you don't save them in the browsers and you start to use weak passwords or you use the same password, then you're really undermining what you're trying to achieve. So if on balance, saving these in a browser helps you stop doing that, then by all means do that. That's a much safer way than just using the same password across a number of accounts. So that's kind of the key behaviors around passwords. The other 2 are very simple in terms of making sure your devices, your applications, your operating systems are patched, they're up to date. The new security releases that come out with these updates, it's important that you start to apply these almost as soon as they come out, because cyber criminals are using these vulnerabilities to be able to come in and exploit your data. And the same with being prepared. Like, doesn't matter who you are, small business, citizen, large business, we're seeing attacks right across all sectors. And it's about what we do when the things go wrong. Have good backups, have one of those offline. especially around your critical data, and also know what you do when something happens. Who do you report it to? If me or you as a citizen and an attack's happening now, we would phone PSNI on 101. If we've already become a victim, there's very little that the police can do at that point in time in terms of mitigating. So that would be reported through to Action Fraud. And the number for Action Fraud would be 0300 123 2040. So I'll just repeat that, 0300 123 2040. And they then collate a lot of information to help prevent these attacks happening to others. So those are the key sort of steps that we're hoping to promote as part of this campaign. By doing that, a lot of people will become much better protected and less likely to become victims of cybercrime.
Yep, they all seem pretty straightforward when you tell us what they are. At the time, though, when it does become a problem, everything gets confused. So I suppose, really, I wanted to ask you about the situation in business since the pandemic struck. Has it got worse, especially in business? And also, I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about Christmas, about some advice on the run up to Christmas. So first of all, for business, what have you seen that is what are the trends over the last period in terms of attacks?
Well, especially during the pandemic period, we've seen a significant increase in cyber criminals using the pandemic and COVID as a way to try and glean information through the likes of social engineering, phishing campaigns, to get more information and have people clicking on stuff that they shouldn't, to compromise businesses, either to steal credentials or to actually encrypt them through ransomware attacks. And we are seeing that across the province. So that is something that has been happening, and it's likely that will continue to happen, whether it's COVID, whether it's in Black Friday or Cyber Monday, which has just come through, or whether it's in the run up to Christmas or in the new year when we start to enter the tax year. There is always some scenario that cyber criminals are trying to get on the back of, to use as a lever to get people to do something they have. By far, in advance of any other type of attack, this is very much in around email, phishing. Talk to your friends and family, make them aware of this. Be vigilant is really the best advice that we can add here.
So what about the run up to Christmas? So if you're like me, you probably leave the Christmas shopping to probably the day before. So, I'm probably not going to be a victim because I'll have to get my legs moving down to a shop. And obviously we want people to go shopping this year more than ever. But for those people who are sitting at home on the couch with the computer, what are the things they need to be looking out for on the run up to Christmas? I presume it's a big time for a bit of naughty behavior by some of these criminals.
Look, the old advice is good advice. If it's too good to be true, it probably isn't. But I would say, don't be afraid to shop online. There's good security out there. Banks are really good in terms of prompting people if there's something that's untoward. So don't use this as a way to not do shopping, but be vigilant. Make sure that when you're clicking on a website, that you are seeing the lock. That doesn't mean this website's safe. It just means that the connection's safe. But do a wee bit of research. If something doesn't feel right, Google, check it out, see if there's reviews. Just do a wee bit of additional research in around what you're looking at and see if it's bona fide. And I think that's probably some of the sound advice you can. But by all means, don't think that shopping online is overly dangerous. It's very good benefits to be had, but just a little bit of added vigilance around that would be good.
Well, Joe, we're happy to support your campaign. We wish you the very best of luck in the great work that you're doing at the Cyber Centre, the Cyber Centre for Northern Ireland. We wish you the best of luck with it. And just remind us of those three important words again.
So passwords, patch, and prepare. And for businesses, I'll add a fourth one, which is promote. Just promote this out to your staff around good vigilance and good practice.
We are caught for time there, so we're going to have to bring it to a close. But Joe, thank you for being our guest this week on Business Bites.
Thank you very much. Cheers.